Hello everyone, welcome to Because I Can with Ridhhaan, Season 3. Today I'm super excited to welcome Kanira Adlakha. She's heading to Manchester City University to study cognitive neuroscience and psychology. Can you believe it? And she's already done some amazing work from researching music therapy for the autism to interning at KEM Hospital at just 18 years old. She's already began her jewelry business called Lilac Lime. And during her free time, she loves to play music, doing on the guitar, ukulele, piano, and more. Or behind the camera, doing photography. So let's invite her on the show. Hi, Kanira. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm
Wonderful to meet
great.
you.
You as well.
How do you feel being here today?
I feel very excited. I'm so glad that I'm very honored to be here. Yeah.
It's amazing to have you here and knowing that you have a 99.9 score. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And good luck in Manchester as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm very happy to be here to share my achievements. Yeah.
That'll be great. I look forward to it too. So, can you introduce yourself to us?
Right. So my name is Kanira. I'm 18 years old right now, and as you said, I will be heading to University of Manchester. I just finished my 12th grade, and it was it opened up a lot of opportunities for me because I was able to do so many things. As you said, the internship, and I'm able to research work that I truly enjoy and that I'm so intrigued by. And yeah, I love music, I love photography, and I'm really excited to share that.
That's great. We look forward to it too. Could you share us about your school experiences when growing up? How was that feeling? Did you love those moments?
I honestly, I think I've become. I think I loved it as the grades went on because I know a lot of people say that the 10th grade is the hardest or the 12th grade is the
I get it.
hardest.
I
Right?
relate to it.
I swear, like every year is supposed to be harder than the next. But I think every year you learn more, and every year it's everything is different, everything is new. Something that I really enjoyed was how I shifted schools from the 10th to the 11th, and that new experience was great. And I think that highlights how new experiences are so important, how you should always be open to meeting new people and being around new people. And I think school is more than just academics. It's that, it's making connections, it's making friends, and putting yourself out there. Yeah.
I totally agree. But sometimes, like you said, that shift between 10th and 11th, couldn't that be a little scary? Because the thing
Yeah.
that you've been studying for so long and shifting to another school where the studies might be a little different.
Yeah.
Was it a little scary during that time with the next year being 12th?
Yeah, I think it definitely was because I also switched my boards. I went from a CBSE board to an international board.
Okay.
And it is difficult because you have to adapt, and a lot of times you have to change how you've been doing things for so long.
Yeah.
So I think what really helped me was making sure I was always looking forward to a new thing, making sure I was always looking ahead. But it can be difficult during that time, 100%.
Got it. So, trying out new experiences are the best.
Yeah.
Going around, looking around, understanding, learning, those are the things that truly make that point.
I think if you have something that you really enjoy doing and you put yourself out there and make sure that you're doing those things, that's all you need. You need that little ounce of support and ounce of belief in yourself, and I think that's going to get you ahead.
That's very true. If it weren't my parents who gave me the platform, because they give a lot of belief in me. They trusted me all the time. They supported me all the time. They were always there for me, even at the times when I was very tired. Sometimes when some issue had happened in school or something had happened, they're always there to believe me. They're always there to support me, and that is something that you always need. That every child needs. That
Correct.
support from the parents, that support from the friends, support from the teachers, and that's where
Exactly.
that mark is held.
Yes, it's very important and it really does help. It really, that can be all you need.
I've heard that you were a house captain. So, could you share some moments during that time and leading some school initiatives?
Yeah, in fact, it's funny because it intersects again into like my hobbies, my music. Being a house captain, I knew that there were certain challenges I'd have to take on, especially because the house that I belonged to was the one that was coming last place for
Okay.
the past 6 years in my school. So I knew that it would be a difficult undertaking. But I knew my friends who were in this house. I knew what people were capable of, and that's how I think that's what pushed the teachers to even give me that position, because I made them believe that I can make this house really win, at least not last place, and that I did do that.
Okay.
But yeah, there was a music competition.
Okay.
And we were going through some struggles because there's a lot of you need to cooperate with a lot of people. You need to make sure that people are showing up to practice almost after
Yeah,
every.
sometimes
Yeah,
people bunk.
because people
They,
bunk and they have other priorities. Maybe somebody wants to go do sports, and you have to respect those
yeah,
things.
that's true.
But at the same time, you need to be able to push forward, and you need to be able to have that leadership and get them to do the work, right? So after a lot of convincing for some of the
Yeah.
people, we got together a good team. There was a drummer, a guitarist, a whole group of singers. And
What role did you play there?
I was the singer. I was one of the singers.
Okay.
Yes, and I also had one of the shakers to give a little bit of rhythm.
Yeah, the rhythm. That's nice.
Yeah. So, and it was like about 15 people. And I knew that a lot of them were only there because they wanted to show support for the house, but not necessarily to sing, or because they were interested in music, and vice versa. But I made sure to like keep everybody encouraged. And the day before the competition, we practiced like the whole day. We like had to
Oh my God.
go to our teachers and beg, like, please let us have this time. And that perseverance was really important, because we did it. We got first place.
Wow.
And
And if it wasn't that hard work, then last place again.
Yeah, and I find that a lot of people, when conflict arises,
Yeah.
they think that the best way is my way, or I will do it how I want to do it. Wherein I think that it really depends on the way you can figure things out together. The point is to figure things out together and cooperate.
Understand, cooperate, talk to
Yeah.
each other, understand about what are others thinking strategy. Who knows? It might even be better than what you are thinking about.
Exactly, and everybody's ideas are important.
That's true. So, what was the name of your house? Do you remember that? What color, name?
Yeah, it was green. It was Prithvi. So all of
Prithvi.
our,
Okay.
yeah,
So it was the elements. So Prithvi, then one was fire,
yes, Agni,
Agni.
Jal, and Vayu, air.
Okay.
Yeah.
The gods basically.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Prithvi, the earth.
Yeah.
That signifies teamwork, joy, being together, strong.
Yeah, holding your ground.
Holding it down. If I am not wrong, you were in school when you had started Lilac Lime, your jewelry venture, right?
Yes, in fact, at that point it was online school because it was during
that
COVID
it was
time.
COVID time.
So that was great because it was this new venture. It was this place where I could put in my creativity and my time. Especially during COVID, I feel that we all needed something that was new.
That's true, a
Because-
different experience because being locked up in your home, it gets hard. You can't do many things. That's true.
Exactly. And I mean, at first, so I started it when COVID was kind of like around 2021.
Yeah,
So it
when
was
it
kind
was
of
easing
quieting.
out,
Yeah, it was kind of
going
quieting down. But obviously, there were still lockdowns, there were
the
still
lockdown. Yeah.
restrictions. And I made sure to like disinfect every like product I had every time I
Yeah.
got any new order. So I realized that there were more precautions that needed to
That
be
need.
taken
Yeah.
when you're in that kind of situation. And I think we all realized that during that time. But yeah, it was a really good creative outlet, and I got to interact with people in a way that would not have been possible otherwise.
What inspired you to make to sell jewelry, and how did it begin basically?
It started out as something for just me. It started out as I want to make this for myself. You know, you see things online, you
Yeah.
see an image, and those images they inspired me. I saw this necklace that
Okay.
was just a string of beads, and I realized that that feels easy. I can make that. And in this world where we have Amazon at our fingertips, why not use it for something that really would make me happy and would, you know, it could be something creative, and I love taking on new arts and crafts projects. So it
Okay.
started off as one necklace, and then it went into bracelets and earrings, and slowly I had like a little inventory together.
Okay.
And it was great because I realized that this is a good way to expand, because my mom wanted a pair of earrings soon enough,
Yeah.
and then my friends wanted, and I started making for their birthdays as gifts.
Got it.
And I just couldn't get enough.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep doing it, and that's where I realized that this would be a great business idea. And I really wanted to have a reason to do it, because one occasion was not enough. So yeah, I think that was how it became Lilac Lime.
Okay, well, that's a process. One
Yeah,
necklace to more and more.
more and more. Yeah.
And there's one little girl, her name is Ridhhaan Shankar. She's also an author.
Okay.
She has written 5 books now.
Wow.
And even she loves making jewelry just like you.
Yeah.
And she also wants to start one business. She also wants to understand how can she do the business, and
Mhm.
it's a very starting point.
Mhm.
She is currently 8 years old now,
Wow. Yeah.
so she's just starting at that age, and she really wants to do a business, because I've also seen how she did it. She
Correct.
first made a necklace just like you, then started making braids, rings,
Yeah.
uh, bracelets as well, and that's how she started, just a small inventory just like you. And then
Lovely.
soon my mom also gave the idea of how she could do one business,
Right?
and then we realized that there are so many people who really want to take such steps, who really want to start a business, but they have some ifs and buts, they have some questions. So how can they overcome it?
Correct. And I feel that a lot of people, they underestimate themselves and they overestimate the problems
Yeah,
before even starting.
starting, that's
And
true.
the one thing that you need is to trust yourself and go step by step. There is no need to rush into things. Even when I was first figuring it out, I didn't know how I could ship these multiple products. I wouldn't
Yeah.
even know if I would get any orders. But I wasn't doing it for someone else, I was doing it for myself. So I asked a friend for some help, and she made my logo. She was a great artist. I knew she loved to draw, and so
Okay.
I asked her for some help, and she helped me out. She made a logo, and it was I started an Instagram page. Very small steps. You just need to take those few steps. I told my parents about the idea. I told my friends about the idea, and they liked it. And I think once you have that little faith in yourself, yeah, you just go one by one, and start small. Always start small. You're not going to get big things done if you do not start small.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Because we just go on jumping, that will not work. You'll have to first take a few small steps. You'll have to work yourself up. You'll have to. And one thing that my father always tells me, that um, if you want to achieve great things, then you must never put yourself in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
You have to take it up, you have to take it up. And my father always gives me an example that imagine that you are walking, you are climbing some steps. Okay, and it's still the 12th floor. Imagine that is at success.
Yeah.
And slowly, slowly, you're walking. Every milestone, every achievement, one step achieved.
100%.
Because that's what
That
my father always tells me, and I deeply resonate with
that
it.
is a lovely piece of advice because it is entirely true. You cannot get where you want without taking those few steps
Few
first.
steps. That's true.
Baby steps.
Baby
Yeah.
steps. During this business as a teen, you must have had some real learning moments and fun stories. Could you share some with us?
I think for me, I started to realize when I was first getting orders, I was selling in Pune, right? And in my vicinity, in my neighborhood. So they were
Yeah.
easy to ship at that point. But then I started getting orders from all around India, from Delhi, from Mumbai.
Wow.
And then I started realizing that I'm going to have to expand. I'm going to have to figure out how a shipping company that's pan India works. And I remember when I got my first order from Assam. And that's when I really realized that, oh wow, we're going to Assam.
We're going to Assam,
And
yeah.
I need to be able to send my products there because there's people who want it. And I
Right.
remember that entire realization of how big this is actually becoming, and the learning moment of, okay, now I need to take a step further. Now I need to be able to deliver to these places. So I think that was really eye-opening. And it was a little bit difficult at first because there's so many different companies that you, or so many different ways to do it, or the India Post, but you have to keep going to the post office.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like pros and cons that I had to write out for what choice I'm going to make, for what company I would use to
Yeah.
sell,
To ship.
to
Yeah.
ship the products. And at the end, I feel like I was doubting myself at that point. Like, what if I make the wrong decision? What if I end up misplacing an order or something?
Okay,
that's
yeah.
that's not ideal, right? But at the end, I did what I think one thing you should always remember is look at other people, look at what do not be scared to reach out. So I did that. I spoke to some other small business owners and I
Yeah.
asked them what their advice was, and they assisted me with that. And it was great because I was able to deliver my first order to Assam
Oh wow.
without any mishaps. And then I was able to deliver my second order to Assam because it grew. And I think that was a really great moment for me where I realized that expanding was actually I just needed to talk to a few people.
And there you could get the advice, you could learn so many things.
Correct.
And doing a business like this can give you a lot of information about how things work. How could you ship it, how would you pack it, how would everything go step by step, how would it be how would it be shipping,
Yeah.
how would those procedures work. And if you are doing a business like that, then it can really give you a lot of experience about how do the things work.
Yeah,
And
and the
yeah.
kindness of the customers as well. I think it's very important to always be empathetic, to always be kind, because I told her that I haven't really figured out how to deliver to Assam yet, but if you
Yeah.
give me a few days, I will try my best. And she patiently waited, and she was
Okay,
very
yeah.
nice to me, and I was able to deliver to her, and it was really a great experience.
That is. How did this jewelry business impact or develop you, and in what way?
I think, as I said, it was a really good way for me to push myself to talk to new people, because I don't think you realize it at the start.
Yeah.
But even if you're just doing an online Instagram business, there is a lot of communication, a lot of social networking that you need to be able to do. You need to be able to talk to the customers and understand what it is that they want. And that was an aspect that I definitely underestimated. Like, I didn't think that it would
Yeah.
be so much. Like, I thought it would be a very straightforward process. And at times when there were a lot of orders, I found it difficult to reply to to everybody on time
And also
deliver it and send
Yeah.
them their tracking IDs. Like it's an entire process. So I think that was something that I had to get used to, but that it made me better with time management skills
Yeah.
and really improved my like focus on things. I was able to compartmentalize and do certain things. I could prepare a schedule, and that really helped me out. So it definitely developed a lot of my skills in that way. Yeah.
Okay. Today I was having a conversation with my dad, and he had said that the most greatest thing is that you have to have a lot of focus, a lot of concentration, because without that focus and concentration, you will make a lot of mistakes. You won't understand how things are working. You won't understand about what is that process able to be taken. And being focused, being determined, being passionate, that is something that truly stands out. Because if you are passionate, then you have that urge to learn, you have that urge to understand the process, how things work. Whereas if you're not passionate, then it won't attract you much, it won't give you that feeling, it won't give you that power to do something.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite sayings is if there's a will, there's a way. And if you really want to, you can and you will, because you just need to have that desire. As long as that there's even an ounce of desire, you can figure things out. Take help from others
Yeah.
and believe in yourself. That is definitely very important to getting to where you want to be. Passion is something that can be for anything, any arts, crafts, music, any sort of hobby. And I think it's lovely. It's a lovely thing to be passionate.
It is that is true, because that time you want that exposure, you want
Yeah.
that experience, and that is something that you are willing to sacrifice anything for it. That is what is the definition of
Yes.
passion, what you truly want to do in your life.
It is the most beautiful motivation.
That is true. Now we've already explored school and business, and you've led both of them. So, what do you think are one of the greatest learnings or one of the greatest things needed for an effective leader?
For an effective leader, you need to be able to not just be. I think a lot of people think that a leader needs to be loud and needs to be convincing. But I think that a leader needs to be empathetic and kind. I think that a leader needs to be able to talk to the people that they're leading. I think a leader needs to be a team player. I think a leader needs to be someone who understands.
Yeah.
Because without those things, it's just you. Without those things, you're standing there screaming alone.
Because nobody's ready to support you that time. Because if you're not being kind to them, if you're not understanding them, then what impact that holds? There is.
Exactly.
I recently had watched one video. It was a very motivating video, and it talked about 7 things. It was by Denzel Washington.
Okay.
He's a very famous actor, and he had said 7 most important things to reach success that success demands. Number one, hard work. Don't believe in luck. Believe in hard work. Two, patience. If you are losing patience, then that means you are losing the battle.
Yeah.
3, sacrifice. If you sacrifice for what you want, but if you don't, then the thing that you want becomes the sacrifice. 4, consistency. Consistency is what transforms average into excellence. 5, discipline. Have a focus goal, be disciplined. Motivation can keep you going, but it is discipline that keeps you growing. 6, confidence. Confidence is not like others love me, but confidence is where I'm fine if they don't like me. 7, a positive attitude. That won't solve much of your problems, but it will surely annoy others and it'll make that effort worth it.
Mhm.
And one thing I like to say to the audience here, focus on your goals, not the obstacles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's very true, and it's something I think Nelson Mandela said, that a courageous person is not one who does not fear anything. A courageous person is he who can conquer it, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's exactly what we're talking about with fear, with obstacles. If you believe that you can overcome those obstacles, that is what will get you far.
That is true. That is very true. I like to talk about growth mindset. So I think that's a term that all almost everyone knows about, or have heard about. So basically, growth mindset is where you are open to things. You are not keeping your brain closed. Something that because two things I've noticed: belief and focus. A belief of a person who has growth mindset that talent, passion is built. You're not born with it. And one focus is to try to build that passion, to try to work to that level.
Mhm.
And there's also fixed mindset, which is exactly the opposite.
Mhm.
They believe that talent is born. They believe that a person is born with talents and they don't need to work hard in it. And then their focus is that because a person is born with a talent, they don't need to learn much, they don't need to grow much. So my question to you is that what are your thoughts on growth mindset and how it can impact others?
I think that's a really lovely question, especially because of the kind of overlap it has in the field that I'm interested in psychology and in biology, because there's a similar debate about how your genes affect your life.
Okay.
Like certain things are written in your DNA, and that is just who you are. And certain things are learned by the environment. It's a very interesting overlap, I think. And what I would say to that is that the growth mindset is 100% the the more defining one of who you are, because there's a lot of, you can be born with a lot of things. You can be born with certain limits. Maybe you think that
Yeah.
you're limited to things, but the things that will change that is your mindset. And once you understand that, uh, people that say that your talent is just you're born with it, you might be, but the best way to get further is to honor that and to work harder to make yourself even better, maybe. And a lot of people are born with talents. There's a lot of musical savants out there
Yeah.
that just can pick up an instrument. There's perfect pitch, and they
Yes.
know it's not anything that they needed to learn. But at the same time, that they would have been nowhere if they hadn't honed those skills, if they hadn't continued to work on them.
On them. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you are born with skill or not, because that perseverance and that effort that you put into it as you continue to grow will be what gets you far, and it will be what will make you and others around you probably happy as well. Because somebody who really is passionate, as you said,
Yeah.
and truly loves what they're doing, they'll want to work on it and they'll want to hone that craft. And I think that's what art and that's what so much is about in life.
That is true. That is very true. I totally agree. So let's talk about what's coming new. Now you're going to Manchester to study cognitive neuroscience and psychology. So, what is cognitive neuroscience and psychology?
So I think we cognitive is just talks about the processes in your brain. You know,
Yeah,
things like memory is a cognitive process. Neuroscience is again you're discovering those things in your mind, right?
yeah,
Neurology or anything related to the brain, and psychology is how those how your brain is wired and how those processes occur, how that affects you, how that affects your mood and your behavior, your reactions. And I think that's the core of what being human really is. And that's what really drew me to this topic, to this field. I've always loved the idea of psychology, of how this one thing in our mind can affect our behavior with other people, affects our relationships with other people. It's a
yeah.
very important thing to understand your psyche, and that's why I kind of got into it as well.
Okay.
And yeah, so I cognitive neuroscience is more the biological aspect of psychology.
Yeah.
And I think that again it's important, it's that overlap between genetics and environment that really is the core of the study.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, cognitive neuroscience is the study of the brain, about how the brain processes, about the example you gave about memory.
Yeah.
And the brain also responds to many other things as well. It can respond to music,
Yes.
which connects us to our next topic,
Yes.
music therapy. You had researched about music therapy, and I've noticed one thing, that if you play a calm, soothing music, then the brain, the stress level is reduced. Then, then you smile, you feel happy, you feel joyful. Or else, when it's some fast music, you feel tensed.
Mm-hmm.
So, what happens in the brain during that time?
So again, it's very different for different people because music is something that's so beautiful and it's so subjective. Where my research lied was not just in how music therapy affects like your mood, right? As you said, music does have an effect on your mood. Sometimes when you're feeling sad, you might want to listen to sad songs because that's what you feel.
That is what that's what reflects of how you feel.
Correct.
That's true.
You resonate with what's going on, and something so beautiful about music is it's not just about words. It doesn't have to be about lyrics or like modern music as we know. It's the instruments itself. Like in the theory of music, the most basic thing you would learn is that there's major notes, like major music, and minor
Yeah,
music, right? Major
that's true.
chords and minor chords.
In guitar,
And
yeah.
a lot often the minor ones reflect sadness or some sort of despair, whereas the majors are more upbeat and high
That's
in
true.
nature, right?
I never thought about that. That's true. That's
Yeah,
deep.
it forms the basis, and you'll see that most songs that are supposed to be hopeful and happy display patterns that are part of the major sector of music. And it's rooted in music to reflect emotion, is what my point was.
Okay.
And
Okay.
with music therapy, what I really wanted to explore was children with autism. They have difficulties in communication, and they find it difficult in both verbal and non-verbal communication. It's a difficult feat for them because they have to they get overstimulated very easily. These are just common symptoms of
Yeah.
somebody who's on the spectrum. And something that was very interesting that I found was that the first 11 cases of the children that were diagnosed with autism, the doctor who found that also found that their brain was wired a little bit differently in terms of listening to music and how they
Yeah.
responded to music. So even though they might not be able to communicate with words and verbal communication all that often,
Yeah.
they could really understand the music. They could respond. Like if you play them a note, they could play it back to you. And that's where the base foundation of this idea of music therapy in helping communication came from.
Okay.
And so yeah, I explored that further, and it is they respond differently to music. Almost all of the individuals that are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder have different ways to communicate, and very often music therapy helps them. So I really found it very interesting that certain things you can't say with words. There's certain things that you might not be able to understand yourself, but there's this beautiful language that actually doesn't even have words very often.
Yeah, it's
That's
just that
music.
soulful music that touches you, that gives you that feeling, that gives you that moment, that I get it. So,
Exactly.
could you just express what is music therapy? What kind of process it is?
So it's very varied. There's a lot of different types and different
Yeah.
forms. Certain music therapy would just be listening to music along with a facilitator, like a therapist,
Okay.
who would help you, like would observe you and see how you react or respond to the music. That's one of
Okay.
them. Or a different one would be the actual process of composing music, maybe playing an instrument. That
Yeah.
also is music therapy for a lot of people. And playing an instrument, and again, how that improves your communication with others, like how that improves your mood with others. So there's different forms, different music styles. Like sometimes classical music might have a different effect, or more pop music or mellow R&B and stuff. So it definitely depends on the individual, because
Yeah.
again, music is something very personal, very subjective.
That is true.
So what I was researching, there were different methods of music therapy involving again, playing music,
Yeah.
sometimes not just repeating sounds but making new sounds, composing music, and that's another
Okay. That,
style.
yeah, because when I had also done a little research about music therapy, and there was written that music therapy is basically where there's one music expert who comes, who asks them what kind of music do they like, and by forming how do they react
Yeah,
to the music, then they build a song,
yeah.
and that's how music therapy basically is.
Correct, yeah. And that's what I wanted to explore. I wanted to explore the intersection between that and how it genuinely, how those responses and those reactions to music transfer to their reactions with real life interactions. Because as I said, that's something those children do struggle with. And if there's any way to help them, this is one of them. And it's something that, because autism is not something that is like, it's not like it has a cure or some sort of medicinal
But it can
treatment.
be understood. It can
Yeah,
be
it can be
related with.
understood,
Yeah.
and they can find their way in the world, through different processes. And in that matter, even things like art therapy are very common, and different routes that often children with autism take. And
Yeah.
I think that's lovely, because it speaks to the fact that they are so human at the end of the day. Like, all of us are so attached to these things like music and art, because we that's what we feel, right? It's
Yeah,
at the
that's true.
basis of us.
Because even I love doing art, and whenever I do it, something resonates with me. Something, some picture draws into my mind, and I just draw that, and that is very touching. That is very, that's something that you can truly connect with.
Yes, it's very intrinsic, it's very personal to you.
That's true. I have noticed this in restaurants, and whenever we go, um, when you enter there, soft, calm, smooth music is playing while you're eating, and later when you stay there for a longer time, that time the music gets a little more quick paced. There are more beats. It gets faster, and that time the people then they feel a little urge to eat faster and go.
Yeah.
So
That's yeah, it's
can you
something,
share?
again, that's very linked to psychology. It's how a lot of people use music in forms of it's kind of like subliminal, you don't really understand. It's very subconscious. It has a subconscious effect on your mind.
That's
And in fact, you can say this about a lot of things. Even in business, I think that's a very important marketing strategy, not just with music, but things like colors and art. Like, you'll see so many fast food restaurants, they have like yellow and red and
Bright,
green,
vibrant
bright,
colors.
vibrant colors, because that's what triggers that in your mind to it attracts you towards it, right?
Yes.
And so, music is just like that. It helps set the mood. It helps reflect what the ambience of the place is supposed to be like. And yeah, it's everywhere.
It's every, that's true. When you talked about attracting, I want to tell you one fun fact.
Okay.
That bees,
Uh-huh.
they don't see the dark color flowers. They only see red, yellow, white, pink. They see those light colors, so they immediately get attracted to that.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that just suddenly came to my mind.
Yeah, that's
When
very
I read your profile, and now also when you're talking about it, music is your passion, and from the age of 6, you've played piano, you learned guitar, ukulele, even a little of drums.
yes.
So, what sparked your interest in music? Was it because of these the little research, or about how music can connect with you?
Mm-hmm. I
Wow.
mean, when I was 6, I really didn't know.
Yeah, yeah,
But I always loved to sing. I was somebody who, anytime I would hear a song playing in the car, I would
yeah.
always pick it up very quickly. I would always memorize all the lyrics just by listening to it, a couple of
Okay.
times. And I really started enjoying it. And I remember there was this grand piano in a hotel that my parents and I were staying at one time, and I tried to play it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't play it very much because I didn't know how at that
Uh-huh.
point. And that's when my parents decided that, I think if your interests lie here, you should go learn how to play the piano.
The piano.
And so that was really great because it was something that I liked. Like singing was something that I picked up on my own, but that support and that effort to honor that was made by my parents, and they like
Yeah.
pushed me to go into a music class, which was great because I learned how to play the keyboard. And from there, I didn't really need anyone else after that. Once I played the keyboard for what, like 10 years, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, like
okay.
I was in a class for about 6 7 years, and
Oh
then
my
after
god.
that I was
Okay.
playing on my own. I still play. And then that desire to just learn and know more never went away. Like these new avenues were opening up, like, oh, what
Yeah.
if I get a ukulele? I was inspired by artists that I listen to and that I
Okay.
like. And I saw that there was this one artist who was playing the ukulele, and I was very intrigued. I was like, this looks so fun.
To
And
do,
it's like a
yeah.
new easy instrument, and that's why I picked it up. It was the ukulele first, then I moved on to the guitar and some drums was also very opportunity wise,
Okay.
because it was like in my school
Yeah, yeah.
there
That
was a
comes.
bunch of classmates who played the drums, and I wanted to learn. And that's how I learned the drums, a few beats only.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's an ongoing process. I want to be able to pursue that further. I'm
That's true.
hoping that even when I go to college, there might be certain societies or clubs that I can join where I can, learn how to play the drums, continue to play and learn more. So yeah.
So, if possible, could you play one piece on guitar? If possible, we'll be truly thrilled.
Sure, I would love to do that.
Can we please
That
have the
would be
guitar?
an honor. And when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. Another version of me, I was in it. I waved goodbye to the end of beginning. Oh, the song has started now, and you're just finding out. Now isn't that a laugh? A major sacrifice, we're clueless at the time. Enter Caroline. Just trust me, you'll be fine. And when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. Another version of me. I was in it. Oh, I waved goodbye to the end of beginning. Goodbye, goodbye.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
You played so well. Amazing.
Thank you so much. That was really such a great conversation that we've had right now. I love that I was able to play the music because it's something that I'm so passionate about, and where I'm so interested in things like psychology and stuff. But through academics, through everything, that passion always has to be there, and I think that's what music really is for me.
Actually, in the first season, we had Jinal Shah. She
Okay.
also sang a beautiful song. That time it was, if I'm not wrong, it was Unstoppable.
Oh,
The
lovely.
song, yeah.
Yes.
So she sang beautifully. The way she sang, the way she was showing that confidence, that was something beautiful. And hats off, yeah, you played beautifully.
Thank you
The
so
way
much.
you sang, that really struck a note, that really touched.
This song is
Yeah.
called End of Beginning by Joe, and it was I selected the song because I think it's reflecting what state of life I'm in right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to college, I'm moving away, and this song reminds me that no matter what, I'm not going to forget, and I will not be able to forget where I came from, and
Those
that
memories will always be there.
yeah,
You'll
and
never
that
forget
holds
them.
like a special place in my heart, that place. So that's what the song is about, and yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, that meaning it holds is very unique.
Yes.
Now, a last few questions for you. Then we'll begin with our fun segment, something I have with everyone. What is one way you bring creativity in your studies, your research, and about what you do?
I think, as I said, like the research topic that I picked
Yeah.
about music therapy, in and of itself, I didn't have to. I didn't have to pick music therapy. It wasn't something that was assigned to me. I knew I had to write a long essay in psychology,
Yeah.
about 4,000 words, and I had to do a lot of research.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be
4,000 words. Okay.
yes, a 4,000 word essay, and I would have to be doing a lot of research, and
Yeah.
I would be almost rereading like around 50 research articles, because it's a lot of secondary research.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had to choose a topic that I was interested in. I knew that I had to make it an interesting journey for myself, because that would make the quality of the essay so much better.
That's true, because
And-
something which you resonate, if you're doing that becomes even better.
Exactly. And that's why I almost immediately knew that I wanted to do something that was personal to me and maybe something related to music.
Yeah.
And with a little bit help from my supervisors, I was able to come up with this topic of music therapy. And I think that's important every time you are assigned a new project. And I think nowadays in school and with so many assignments, I love the fact that I feel like teachers are giving that opportunity to the children to decide what they want to do for themselves. Like that little open-endedness of an assignment is so beautiful. And I think every time you get a project like that where you can decide maybe even a little bit of it, you should always do something that you are genuinely interested in.
That's true.
And never be afraid to explore new things as well.
Yes, so we had talked in the earlier part about
Yes.
passion, about doing
Correct.
something, explore something new.
Right. Just and for me, this new thing was like how I discovered, like for autism, I have not studied or did not know anything really much about the entire autism spectrum disorder, but that was a good learning experience. Like I was able to combine what I already know so much about into this new area and this new field, and I think that's what's important. And yeah. And you should always try to put your interests wherever you can, because it's really fun. It's great.
That's true because, like we earlier talked about,
Yeah.
doing something you're passionate about is the best thing you can do,
Yeah.
because that is something you resonated with, that is something that you connect with deeply. And if you don't, then what's the point?
Similarly, even with my passion for photography,
Yeah.
in my school, we had one class and one course that's committed to creativity, activity, and service. So
Yes.
there's like these month-long projects that you should be taking up, that are, either giving out to the world, or you're doing something to activity like
Yeah.
treks and hiking, or going to the gym, and or creativity, right? Like setting up performances, musical experiences. And this is like a required part of our course. And
Okay.
but there's a lot of freedom to it, because
You
with
can
those
choose
three
whatever you
you can do
want.
whichever you
Yeah.
like. And so one thing that I had selected for a project of mine was a photography exhibition. I recently visited Sri Lanka as a school for a
Oh,
school trip, yeah, and I learned a lot about the
nice.
culture and the heritage over there. So what I did was, I took my camera to that trip, and I was able to get some really
Okay.
pretty shots, I think. And
Oh,
so I set up a exhibition, so that had the creativity part, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
set it all up. Like, I had to do a lot of physical labor in setting up all the
yeah.
lights and the stands and everything, and also the treks in Sri Lanka, of course. And I think combining something like photography with this project of mine was, again, it was a great experience, because it was something that I genuinely wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that was great. It got me my course certification as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, how is it there in Sri Lanka? I mean, it was very different there, of course. So, what was something that you truly felt memorable in Sri Lanka, and what was something you learned from
It
there? One memory you took
was
back.
it was really lovely. They are so very rooted in nature. Like
Okay.
they had brilliant waterfalls, and almost every
Wow.
village, or whichever city we went to, they're all just covered in luscious greens. And it was just a very lovely experience, because their culture is also so strongly rooted to them, and the tour guide and everybody was so kind. There was like a pottery workshop that we went to as well,
Okay.
and this lady, she taught us how to do. She took time in her day to teach all of us kids how to
Oh.
make pots and stuff, and it was really beautiful, because they didn't really have any need to, but they did
Yeah,
it,
but they
right?
still did
And
because of
I
that love and because of that affection they had.
Exactly. And they
Oh,
wanted to share their culture with us. And I think that was very lovely. There's a lot of culture in there. Even their architecture in the buildings, in the forts are beautiful. And it was
damn.
just a really overall amazing trip in that sense.
Oh, that's great. Because yeah, that's great. Now even I'm looking forward to go there. You described so
Yeah.
well. Even I want to go there now.
Yeah, you should go. There's like a elephant orphanage as well. We were able to like
Okay.
feed elephants and connect with them, and they're so adorable.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice. So coming back to topic, who is someone that you aspire to be and why?
Oh wow, that's a very good question,
Thank
because
you, thank you, thank you.
there are so many answers. There's definitely not a single answer. There is this artist called Tyler Joseph. I really appreciate his work, because he is somebody who makes music from the heart. Like, he makes music, he's been making music since he's been putting out music since he was 17 years old, and
Okay.
he's 40 years old now with a family,
Okay.
and he has children, and he still puts out such music that deeply resonates, and you can hear the change that he goes through with his life. And I really like his music because it reflects his state of mind. I
Yeah.
think that's important. Like, he is somebody who has had a lot of mental health struggles, which is
Yeah.
very common in this world. If you know the song "Stressed Out," in fact,
Maybe not. Maybe not.
he
Yeah.
wrote that song. But yeah, so there's a lot of I really look forward to. He inspires me a lot because he puts into his work his effort and his personal touch. He is very honest and very kind to his audiences as well. Like their concerts and any kind of experiences are really beautiful. And I know that I look forward to him. I mean, look up to him not
Yeah.
because he's just a great musical artist, but because of
Because
the
he,
person
yeah,
he
the person
is.
he is. That's
Yeah.
true. That is one
And
quality that we should always look about. I was, it was a month or two ago, and I had seen Gaur Gopal Das,
mm,
one of his video, and he said that people are like books. Don't judge the cover of the person. Understand the person, how the person is, how they responding, how they acting to you, how they being to you, what kind of person they are.
yeah,
And to that is something where you can find the best friends, the deepest friends,
yeah,
people who truly resonate with you. Only if you
exactly.
understand what kind of people are they.
Yeah,
If they are very kind, if they are very humble, if they're very honest, gentle, then those are great people. You have
exactly.
to understand their personality, not by cover, the way they speak, the way they sit or stand. Because even people who don't speak much, who are very observant,
Yeah,
even they can create that impact.
yeah. And again, like I want to stress that that wouldn't even be my sole answer. Like there's so many people that I meet, and there's so many like my teachers. One of my older psychology teacher that I really have learned so much from, and they've like kept me going. You know, they've really helped me persevere through difficult challenges in school and whatnot. So it's really nice to be able to like. I think being inspired is just as inspiring as just being inspiring. But
Could
yeah,
you explain that a little?
yeah, like being inspired by somebody is
Yeah.
just as important, and it's puts your it reflects yourself just as much as being a very inspiring person, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I recollect. My mom also
Little
says the
bit.
same thing: inspire and be inspired.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, I recollect that now. Could you suggest some book that we could read? Even me, some book that we could learn a lot from.
Oh wow. I'm gonna be very honest. My taste in books is sci-fi and non-fiction.
Okay, okay,
A lot of fiction,
nice.
actually, a lot of fiction. There was this one book that I read. It's a little bit sad. I would like to
Hmm.
preface
Okay,
that it's called "A Monster Calls" by Patrick Ness, and I think that was one of my first like exposure to something that was so unexpected. Like
yeah,
I had always read books that were beautiful, happy endings, and you know everything works out in the end, and it makes you feel they're very feel good books, and I
yeah,
like those, you know. But this I didn't expect this, and I think it did throw me off. But it was a very important lesson that I learned in life, which is that sometimes things are not going to be how you want them or how you expect it, and that can be a beautiful thing too. That can lead to new things and new adventures. And yeah, so A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, it was recommended to me. It was a part of my school curriculum at first, but yeah. Another one is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Similar thing of how it's unexpected and it is kind of tragic, but it's
okay.
also very real, and it's very like it is inspiring because it talks about how um, change can be difficult, but how you accept that change and how you move forward is what's important. And yeah,
That's
and
inspiring. That reminds me
yeah,
of something Amitabh Bachchan had said,
yeah.
that if something that you expect happens, that's good.
Yeah.
But if something that doesn't happen to your expectations, that's
Mm.
even better.
Yeah.
And because that's what his father had said, that there is some divine force that is doing that unexpected thing, and they always want the best for you, that divine force.
Yeah.
And when I saw that quote, I mean, I was blown away.
Yeah.
That thought that it gave, I never thought it that way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the unexpected, it opens. It's like the saying that goes that, if there's a closed doors, then you open a window, right?
Yeah,
There's always
yeah,
a new way to go. Yeah.
that's true. Yes, now we are here to our fun segment. First of
Yes.
all, thank you so much for sharing your insights.
I am
It
honored.
was great to listen to you, the way you play the music, important details you shared about cognitive neuroscience and psychology and music therapy. It was very inspiring. And without further ado, let's begin our fun segment, my
Yes.
favorite part. So we'll be doing rapid fire. It's
Ooh,
sort of
okay.
rapid fire. So you have to answer quickly, okay?
All right.
One word that describes you right now.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
one word that describes me right now. I am joyful. I'm very joyful.
You are, that's true.
Yeah.
Your favorite travel destination.
Ooh, I loved Jodhpur. Rajasthan,
Jodhpur.
Jodhpur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inspiring quote or line you love.
Ooh, I feel like I've given out so many today. I think the one I referenced before was something that I think about quite often by Nelson
Yeah.
Mandela, where you need to conquer your fear. That's what makes you courageous, and I think that's important to remember.
Will do. Your favorite dessert.
Cheesecake.
Nice. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Teleportation, because I want to move quickly.
Don't be late for classes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think it's good. It saves time and it keeps me on my toes. Like I can work till whenever I want. I can do so much if I could teleport.
Nah, that's true. Your favorite movie?
Ooh, my favorite movie. There's this musical called Into the Woods.
Okay.
And I love it because it's this play on all the traditional stories, like princess stories and folk stories. And it's a really beautiful mix of all of them. And it's just a real great fun.
Oh, that's nice. Your best friend?
My best friend is this girl called Michelle. She lives in our society. And I've been friends with her since like 12 years, maybe more than that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your go-to person, mom or dad?
Dad, because mom is very busy. But I think my dad really knows exactly how to help me, and my mom can support me a lot. But my dad gives me the solutions.
Your favorite sport?
Basketball.
Basketball. That's nice.
Yeah.
So choose one. I'll give you options, and you have to choose one. But again, answer quickly.
Okay.
Books or movies?
Books.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Singing or dancing?
Singing.
Drawing or painting?
Drawing.
Me too here.
Yeah.
Reading or writing?
Reading.
Mountain or beaches?
Beaches.
Nice. That was fast.
Yeah.
Now, 1 + 1 equals to fun. Okay. So I'll give you one word, and you have to give another word that first comes into your mind. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So if I say bike, then the first word that comes to your mind is breeze.
Breeze. Okay. All right.
Psychology.
Biology. Because they're so intertwined. That is, yeah.
Music.
Love.
Literature.
Art.
Reading.
Enjoyment.
Writing.
The quick rapid fire words. Writing. A quill.
Pune.
Small.
Photography.
My dad, because he's the one who got me into it. So yeah.
Wow, you're too good. You did well.
Thank you. I was a little bit nervous.
No, but you did amazing. The way you spoke, the way you gave us so many insights, that was truly great. And here we are to the conclusion. Once again, thank you so much for all the insights you gave us and sharing your love about science. I hope you have a lot of fun and learning in Manchester. I
Yes.
hope you have a great experience there and achieve a BC, your BS, Bachelor of Science.
Yes.
Good luck and keep playing music, keep shining, keep glowing. Yeah.
Thank
And
you so much. It was great to be here. I've learned so much from you as well. Thank you.
oh, thank you.
I was really happy to be here.
Thank you so much. It means a lot for you to be here, and especially with your tight schedule now, because soon you'll be going there, and it's going to be very different. So I hope you have a great experience.
Yes.
And Ridhaan Jain signing off.
Yes.
Yes, so let's do this
lovely.
again. Ridhaan Jain and Kanira
Adlakha.
signing off.
Yay.